Self-fair. But good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the city of Roswell, I guess we could say Keep Roswell Beautiful Coordinator. That's one of your titles.
That's one of my titles. I have
Kathy lay with us this morning.
I have like several little hats.
Well, Keep Roswell Beautiful Coordinator and
Volunteer and Outreach Coordinator.
Volunteer and Outreach Coordinator and multiple hat wearer for the city of Roswell. Kathy lay with us this morning.
And butting in, sorry. As soon as I heard that little blurb about the lightning storm, I remembered seeing this whole thread of pictures, and it was about why men die younger than women.
Yeah.
And it was these outrageous things you see men trying to do to fix something or to do something that's just so dangerous, and it's hilarious.
I'm pretty sure True Network, the True TV network, they have programming pretty much during the day all day because of those videos. Because I think every time I flip through there, if they're not showing jokers, they're showing a marathon of world's whatever videos. And it's those people that stand on ladders or swing from a tree that ain't holding nobody.
Exactly. Or strap a rocket on their back with roller skates to see how fast they can go.
Or a lot of things with motor-propelled vehicles and ramps.
Yes, exactly. My brothers actually started that when they were little kids, I swear.
Well, that's just it. We did it as kids. These are adults still doing it.
No, they never grow up.
We learned that that's dumb.
Well, some don't, obviously.
True.
They've actually got something they call the Darwin Awards. Have you heard about that?
I have.
It's crazy. But anyway, sorry.
Yep.
I'm butting right in, sorry.
No, this is the show. Of course, we got a lot to talk about.
I do have quite a few things.
I guess, do we want to talk Fall Festival first?
I would love to talk Fall Festival first.
Yeah.
That is going to be October the 31st. It is at the Convention or Civic Center, whatever you call it, right next door to the Roswell Museum and Art Center. Right around the 9th and Main Street area.
Yeah, right
in that
downtown
area.
there. Or just... Well, kind of north of true downtown.
It's considered the downtown district still, I think. What they're doing is they're actually doing a free community event. And the city is coordinating it. And they're going to have the police department there. The fire department is going to be there. Waymaker Church is helping to sponsor it. Yeah. We've got a lot of people that are kind of contributing, bringing in, like they're going to have bouncy houses and carnival games or they call them jolly jumpers, trunk or treating, music, just a lot of fun for the kids to have a place to go. It's from 4 o'clock to 8 p.m.
Yeah, and the library, the zoo's having parts.
Yeah, the zoo's going to bring creepy crawlies over. The library's going to have some activities there, and they're setting up booths. It's going to be inside.
Yes.
So that will be because they're concerned
about weather. Nice and cool right now.
Yeah,
the way it's looking, so it can be nice and cool.
We were just talking about the weather here and how crazy it is. It's like winter at night, it's blazing summer in the day.
We're worried about being cold, and we're like, you might want to, think about costumes with shorts this time.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, since they're not sure about what the weather is going to be doing, it is going to be inside.
There the weather.
Yep. The Civic Center is actually, they have a new director there.
Okay.
And they're starting to open now.
Good.
And so this is going to be an activity that they're going to be doing inside. The thing that I'm here to ask about is because one of my roles as the outreach coordinator is to help connect sponsors and donors to projects that the city is doing.
Gotcha.
When they have need. They cannot, the thing about this city is that there are strings attached to most of their money as to what they're legally allowed or what they're mandated by either the way that particular income is set up. As far as when the money comes in, it's got to be spent on specific things. There are things there that they can't technically spend their money on. So they can't go out and buy a bunch of candy, with the certain tax dollars.
The money's earmarked for specific things.
Right. So they need donations of candy or little individually wrapped like pretzels or little snacks, things they can give away to the kids.
Sure.
So if you're interested in donating like a bag of candy or something to the Visitor Center, which is at 5th and Main Street.
Yeah, right there.
White
the
building.
Old Conoco gas station building.
It's across the street from the courthouse, the Chaves County Courthouse, downtown.
Just looks like an old-time little house there, right there in the corner.
You can turn down 5th and pull into that little parking lot right there and drop the candy or the little goodie individually wrapped goodies off.
Okay.
And then we'll get them over to the Civic Center for the event.
Absolutely. And by the way, while you're there, if you haven't been in that, they've remodeled it and renovated it and did a whole bunch of stuff to it about it. Towards the beginning of COVID, I think, right around when all that was
They've got this really cool photo booth inside.
Yeah.
Or not, I wouldn't call it a photo booth. It's a photo, like a little setup.
Information center.
And it's got like there's a Polaroid camera. and there's a little alien, 2 aliens that sit there, and they decorate the background according to the season. And so these 2 little aliens that are standing there, and you take your picture with a little Polaroid, and then it prints it out right there for you, and then you can email it to yourself.
Oh, cool.
So they'll have it set up with a fall scene of some kind,
So while you're dropping off candy, you want to play around a little
free
bit.
Picture. Get a free Polaroid. Send to your friends.
I think they sell Roswell swag there
They
too.
sell Roswell
So if you want to
branded swag.
you want to get your shirts and things, you can find them there too.
Or for family or friends or whoever.
Yeah.
Christmas, it's not too early.
Exactly. It is the season.
But if you have candy or goodies, please drop them off. They really need that badly.
The more, and I know there's a lot of people asking for candy. So when you go to the store, pick up multiple bags.
Yeah,
drop one off for the city there. Maybe drop one off for the sheriff.
Right.
Drop one off for American Legion folks. There's a lot of churches.
There's a lot of really fun things that are happening. And this is a free event. It's not a ticketed event for the Civic Center there.
Yeah.
This is a free event. And
this is a different event than the Boo at the Zoo.
The Night of the Living Zoo is a 2-night event.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. They do Boo at the Zoo sometimes too. No, that's actually one that they've done. This one's Night of the Living Zoo, and they're doing that one the 29th and 30th.
Okay.
And so that one is a real fun thing. They also need, for the Fall Festival on the 31st, they also need volunteers.
Okay.
So if you would like to volunteer, if you've got a young person who needs community hours, and by young person I mean like a teen. If you've got a teen that is working for community hours,
or college
for
student or something.
For their clubs, for their honors, for their group that they do, if they want volunteers,
just to be good people,
or if you just want to do something cool for the community, it's 4 to 8. So it's not like real late at night.
And it's really not that difficult
you can
to
do
work.
2 hours or something. Help set up before, help tear down after, or during that 4-hour period. If you want to work a couple hours, they
probably
really
help
need
people, guide
volunteers.
them around and things.
And run get more bags of candy, which we're hoping we get lots of.
Hopefully there's a stash somewhere to replenish the booth.
Yes, and just helping out. And so we definitely need volunteers, and we need candy for the event.
So if if maybe you live in a neighborhood where you don't get trick or treaters, and I don't need to buy candy. Well, just go buy candy and then drop it off
That'd be wonderful.
At the visitor center here.
And then you can show up at the Civic Center that night and help pass it out.
There you go. And then come on out since no one's coming to your house.
Enjoy it. It's going to be fun. Yeah. They're going to have so much fun stuff to do that night. It's a family event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so bring the family out, have fun, participate as a volunteer, participate by bringing candy. Yeah. It's just a fun fall event for the kids.
And if I usually know right, if the kids love the toys.
They love little toys.
And of course, even the big toys. Because I think obviously the Roswell Police Department, the fire department, usually they come out with the cars and the fire trucks and
they're
let the kids play and check them out and do all that cool stuff.
And the police department will be there.
Boots.
Yep. And it's a great. See, the thing is it builds that kind of sense of community.
Yeah.
That these people that serve us, they want to have that connection with the community, and for the kids to know that they're a safe person.
Yeah.
And that these are people that care about them. That's why they do the jobs they do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that it's like sometimes I think it's so easy to depict city entities or even the city itself as this dictator.
Sure.
And we lose sight of the fact that these are hundreds of people that work every day to make our lives better.
Absolutely.
And it's past all of the political differences of opinion about what they should or shouldn't be doing. There's always opinions about what the city's decisions are and different things. And it's okay to have those conversations. But when it's all said and done, these hundreds of employees are making our lives better by fixing our streets when it's raining or cold or hot, filling potholes. They're out doing these jobs like the sanitation guys that get up at 3:00 and come by and pick up our trash. And the animal services, which actually I just went and visited with the people from the animal services and took a little thank you gift from that Albertsons provided for us, a little thank you gift. And I dropped it off for them. And I asked them when I got them all together to give them their stuff, I said, do you guys all have animals at home? And they said, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're all pet lovers.
They're pet lovers.
Yeah.
And the reason they do that job, but you remember those cartoons as we were kids, the bad old dog catcher? He'd have the net.
The butterfly net.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
He'd grab the dog and take him off to jail.
Yeah.
That's what we still kind of in the back of our minds think of at the animal services.
Especially people, adults already.
Yeah.
Younger kids may not understand.
We don't understand that those people love animals. And they are there because those animals are a lot of times come in injured or starving, or there's someone's lost pet. And because they get them and take them to a safe place, the owner has a chance to get them back now and
Sure.
find them, or they get a chance to have medical care and food. And they try to place those animals with homes and adoptions or animal
Absolutely.
rescues. They work really closely with the animal rescue organizations. And so
When they talk euthanization, when that happens, that is always the last resort.
They have-
and they put the feelers out to all the nonprofits and saying,
Yes.
"Hey, we got some on the short list," and so they give
get them
everybody
in-
as
they
big
get
a
them in
warning,
rescues.
as big. They really are trying everything in their power
Yes.
to find a home and make
Yes.
sure that this animal gets to
Yes.
go and enjoy someplace. The only time they have to is the extreme. When the shelter's full, they've got more coming
They
in.
have, from
That's-
what I have understood, I had a conversation a couple of months back, probably about 3 months ago, and was talking with the person who was at the time kind of helping oversee. They've got a new director there, by the way, too. She's wonderful.
Okay.
And the same staff were there before that I talked with. But one of the things that they said is they've not put down an adoptable animal.
That's
The
awesome.
ones they put down have been ones that were either aggressive and bit someone,
Sure.
and they had to because of
court order
laws.
or law mandate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they get those animals into adoptive homes or get them into rescues.
Yeah.
And they are working. They can't consider themselves like a no-kill shelter because there are times that they're mandated
Sure.
to have to euthanize an
But
animal.
that is the last resort,
But that
and
is
only
the
by
last
court.
resort, and it's only when they really have no other choice.
And I would throw this out: if you go by animal control to do some pet shopping and things, and,
Yeah.
and if you don't see a pet that, for whatever reason,
They
just
have a
doesn't mesh with you,
Facebook.
yeah, go on Facebook, but walk right next door to the
Humane
Humane Society.
Society.
Because you're rescuing a pet either way.
Right.
If you empty a cage at either one of those
Yes.
buildings, so if the cage is empty at the Humane Society, they'll fill it with one from next door.
They really do work hand in hand.
And if you take one from the
Right.
from the I always say the pound, but animal control.
But yeah, but that's what we always knew it as, the pound.
Again, it's back to that
That mindset, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of changing the way we view it
Yeah.
as not being a place for punishment or prison for the animal.
Yeah.
It's a rescue place,
Sure.
a safe haven where they can try to find them a good place to go.
Yeah.
And there are fees and things involved because animals cost money
Oh, yeah.
to take care of.
very expensive.
And if you don't want to invest in taking care of that animal, then you may not be those pet owners. But we're working on getting some programs in place that will help with
And
that.
unfortunately, the animal control and the Humane Society
Right.
and other rescue organizations deal with that owner surrendered. Where,
Right.
And this is why when I have the Humane Society on every time, we always say,
Right.
we're getting ready for the holidays here.
Right.
Pets as gifts aren't great surprise gifts.
No.
These are they make wonderful gifts, but if
Only
you're going
if-
to give
Yeah.
to the person's fully on board with
Yep.
from the process of selecting it to
Yep.
understanding the responsibilities
Right.
and because especially older people are like, oh well grandma's home alone now, let's get her a cat or get her a
Right.
dog, and that's wonderful, but let's make sure grandma's on board and grandma's
Right.
willing to take care of it
and
do
able,
everything
willing and able.
able's the other thing too.
Right,
Yeah.
because they are wonderful companions, but they live sometimes 20 years. And
Yeah, cats got a long life.
some of those little dogs, little cats can live a long time,
But-
18, 20 years.
But
They
I will
can.
tell you, generally, cats are less maintenance than dogs because you don't have to
Absolutely
take them
true.
on walks and let them out.
Absolutely true. Kitty litter boxes, they're much easier
Yeah.
types of
And-
companion animals and things.
I'll tell you this: every single cat that comes out of animal control or the Humane Society, they're already litter box trained, and
Yeah,
it's
they've
kind
learned
of
that.
every.
It's such a natural thing. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, well, I've had two cats from one from each location, and since I've and both times that wasn't like I didn't have to. It was. There was no
Maintenance,
potty
very
training
low
done.
maintenance, right?
Here's the litter box. Oh, okay, got it. What we did was we didn't give them the whole house at first. We just had
yeah,
our
that's
laundry room
smart.
was like a nursery.
Yeah.
We had their litter box in
Introduction.
there. And for a couple
Yeah.
days they hung out there, and then we give them more of the house.
Oh,
And
that was smart.
Yeah.
A
And
slow introduction.
yeah,
That's really
it's
smart.
not our first rodeo. We've been to a couple of these, but yeah, and if you do that, I mean, there's very little to no training.
Right, right.
And cats aren't really receptive to training. They follow routines and patterns,
That's
but if you
true.
try to train them, they're going to fight you tooth and nail.
Isn't it funny how they're so different in their personalities
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
exactly.
It's true. It's
Now, dogs
very
the other
true.
way. Dogs, they're going to do anything.
They want to
everything,
they want to please you like crazy.
but at the same time, they're more needy. You got to take them and walk. You got to take them out all the time. They don't have the luxury of going to a litter box.
Right.
If it's a larger dog, they need exercise.
That's true.
You can't just keep them cooped up in a house.
Absolutely.
They got to run. So if you don't have a fenced-in yard or a place for that animal, then that's probably not the best option for you.
That's very true. Very, very true. But that's one of the things. If we see that these services and these people that do that are serving us just like the animal services. So anyway, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we do get volunteers. One of my programs is about recruiting volunteers for things like adoption events at the animal services, or for the event like the fall festival.
Okay.
And also I work with Keep Roswell Beautiful, and I get volunteers for programs that we do for that. If you have someone who is wanting to volunteer like, for example, I was talking with someone yesterday that their youth is meeting a number of hours for Honor Society.
Okay.
And they were asking about different opportunities for volunteering. One of the things that I do is with Keep Roswell Beautiful, we got grant funding. Grant funding pays for cleanup supplies and we can provide them for free.
Okay.
And I have a volunteer tracking sheet.
Okay.
And you can actually go out and do cleanups in public places. Pick a park. Okay. Go out for a couple hours, clean up, sign your time in on this, and just keep track of the days you go out. How many bags of trash you pick up, the address where you go, how many hours
Is this kind of like Adopt a Highway style?
Can be. It's kind of style like that, but you can move around.
Gotcha.
Like, for example,
You're not beholden to one spot.
Nope. I'm going to go over and I'm going to go to the cemetery and ask them, Kate, do you want me to come by and pick up some stuff over at the cemetery?
Gotcha.
I'm going to go over to Cielo Grande Park or to the bike trail that goes, the Spring River bike trail that goes under Main Street.
Okay.
I'm going to walk along that bike trail and pick up trash.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to Spring River Zoo Park. I'm going to go to Loveless. I'll go to the splash pad. And each time I can go to a school grounds. That's public property.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over and pick up the playground at this little elementary school and go around the school and pick up trash around the school.
Sure.
You can pick a location that's a public
location.
location.
Maybe not do that during school hours. Just as a pro tip. But
No. Don't drag me into that. You're going to have some mad mamas and daddies calling me.
Maybe on the weekend when you do that.
But or you could do it like after school or if you're a homeschooler. But anyway, and we want to see people go out and they can do it as a family. They can do it as an individual. They can do it as a club, a group. If they want to do community cleanups,
sure,
we can give you free cleanup supplies. We can give you trash bags, disposable gloves. We have safety vests. We have trash grabbers.
Okay.
You can borrow the trash grabbers and the vests, and then we'll give you the gloves and the stuff.
Okay.
Go out and do cleanups. I'll give you a sign-up sheet. Okay. You can track those hours, and those can count towards your community volunteer time.
So if you like to start little groups here, like you said, youth groups.
Yeah.
I know Boy Scout troops are always looking for community service. I imagine Girl Scouts the same way.
Yep.
Church groups.
Yep. If you want to do a cleanup, I can hook you up with supplies. Yeah. And here's the one that I specifically wanted to target today. We got grant funding for a new program that is the Empowering Youth Cleanup Fundraiser Program. Okay. I actually have grant funds for this.
Yeah.
If you have money,
you get paid.
I got money. It's burning a hole in my pocket.
Can't wait to spend it.
I want to spend every penny of that grant money. I'm not going to give them a dime back. And it makes them happy when I don't give them money back.
Yeah, they're happy. We're happy. It's a win-win.
Win. What it is that we have funds to pay youth groups in that are located in Chaves County.
Yeah.
So let's say it's the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church youth group, a club from the school, the chess club. It can be a cheer group. It can be a traveling sports team. If you've got a youth group, we want them to be 11 to 17 because we don't want to get tagged for child labor laws.
Sure, we want
of
kids
making those little 5-year-olds with a whip get out and work.
We don't want those kind of images out there.
No, I'm kidding.
But you're right. You want kids that are a little bit mature enough that can handle the walk-in and handle the cleanup and all that
They
stuff.
do a cleanup for 2 hours. We want to have about 10 kids. 2 hours, 11 to 17, we'll pay them $400.
Yeah, so your
we'll
youth
give
group,
them the cleanup
whatever.
supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get
You're
your
just the
youth
labor.
group. Well, yep. You get out, clean up, again, public property.
Yeah.
It can be like, let's say there's a neighborhood along the sidewalks.
Yeah.
That is really, I don't mean like going on to their private property. Stay off of people's private property. Can't go out to Uncle Joe's farm and clean up and us pay you $400.
But public
land.
city land.
Yeah, public land. It can be county, city.
As long as it's not privately owned. So
Privately owned. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you can go along some of those parks, some of those school grounds.
Now, if you want to do like neighborhood cleanups and things, that's on the volunteer side. You're more welcome to do that, but we can't put you in the grant part.
Right.
But if you're saying, hey, I want to go through and help people like the elderly on this street and clean up, and by all means, that's part of the volunteer side. That's awesome.
Yes.
But as far as this grant program, this is for school groups for public lands.
Public land.
Yeah.
And as long as it's public for the cleanups, if they're going through, like let's say, Mike, that they see a neighborhood that the sidewalks have a lot of litter and they want to walk up and down those sidewalks.
Those are city streets, depending on the street, obviously.
Yeah. We want to keep them off of busy roads. In other words, some people want to walk along the highways there and clean up the highways and stuff. We prefer not to have children 11 years old walking next to a busy highway. We prefer they be off-road.
Now, if it's now, I would imagine if it's a high school football team or something, they're 16, 15, they're probably a little bit more mature to handle that. Yeah.
So we're just trying to use wisdom.
Yeah.
We need to have one adult volunteer for every 10 kids.
Yes.
So an adult will accompany them for every 10 kids.
And protection and transparency and
we've
all that stuff.
We've got forms that you fill out that you get to us with parents sign off and stuff, but it's really easy.
Sure.
The forms are super simple. I can get those to you. You can contact me. I will give you vests, trash grabbers for all those kids. I'll give you bags. I'll give you disposable gloves. You have everything you need to do it. You just bring the boys or the girls.
Yeah.
You get those kids out there and do your 2-hour cleanup. Bring all the stuff back, and then I give you a form to fill out, and then I pay you $400.
Awesome. And what I like about this, especially because I'm guessing with the world of COVID, the normal fundraising methods that these groups have, you know, selling candy or selling like discount cards,
right?
It's probably a little harder to do that in this world.
Yes.
So this is an alternative to help offset some of that.
And
for
they'll
you guys.
be outside in the open air.
Yeah, exactly.
They can be in safe places. They don't have to be crammed in close together or handling food things. This is a place that they can do.
Sure.
Even if, and they can follow the health requirements or the health whatever the state's requirements are, they can follow those and be outside doing that.
Absolutely.
And so this is something they can do in spite of the conditions of COVID.
Sure.
They can get out and clean up trash.
And another aspect I like about this is as a youth group, you can use this as that teachable moment or that educational side of your program and teaching some of the valuable skills that children need as adults. And they learn or reinforce some of those skills during these cleanup events.
Yes. One of the things that I've done in studying about litter prevention, because we're getting ready to kick off a really cool litter prevention campaign later this winter, like December and January is when it's going to be really kind of kicking off and heating up. The studies show that areas the litter is picked up in are less likely to be littered in. But if there's lots of litter, people feel they feel a sense of entitlement.
Like it's
I can
okay.
throw. It's
Everyone else did it. I
can do it. But
That's
if there's no litter there, they're reluctant to throw litter. So that by doing these cleanups, they can prevent litter from being thrown there and it's in the same amount as it would have been if they hadn't done the cleanup. And also one of the youth groups that did it, the leader came back and was telling me the kids were out there and they were picking up all this little bitty trash and they were just shocked by how much there was when they really started looking at it. And another group came out was getting ready to practice on the sports field. They were saying, "You better not throw your litter out here. We worked hard to clean this up." And they buy into the fact that they saw that it took a lot of work to get it done and how much nicer it looked.
Yeah.
So you're educating those youth. That's the reason that the state will give us money to do this. Is because it has an impact on the youth.
Sure.
It can prevent litter in the future. So it's a really great program.
It's setting better habits for our future.
Absolutely. And so that is like the ulterior motive.
And what I love too is, for anybody that's spent any kind of time in Southeast New Mexico knows that it's windy as all get out here.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so I imagine there's even part of that where you're cleaning your area and they're like, well, look how trashy it over there. They got to clean up too because otherwise that's all going to be here in an hour or a week or whenever it is. And so it raises that awareness too about how much stuff we just
trash.
And I don't want to get into government mandates about plastic bags and paper bags and all that. People need to do what they need to do, but that doesn't mean you can't be personally responsible and say, you know what, I need to do my part in this. And I think this reminds us of that is sure, we don't want to be told that we got to do this, and this, but as adults and as people that live here, we want to be good stewards of it and we don't have to go crazy. But you know what? It's not hard to clean up after ourselves. It's not hard to properly throw things in a trash can and things like it's not hard.
It makes such a huge impact when just for one person, we sometimes feel like our one effort doesn't amount to much, but it's the combined efforts and the educating other people to follow that. They found in looking at commercials, it's hilarious. You think that the commercials that show this horrible place to say, do you want to live here, would actually work. They really don't.
Right.
It's like people see all the trash thrown around in that picture and they go, oh, I guess it's okay. Everybody else does it.
Exactly.
And it almost gives them that sense, just like with the litter prevention.
Sure.
But when we see people cleaning up stuff, it actually inspires us to follow that example.
Yeah, keeping up with the Joneses mindset a little bit.
And you
here.
start saying, oh, they're doing that. That must be the right thing to do.
Sure.
And it is. If you bend over and pick something up and throw it in the trash and someone sees you do that, they're more likely to feel like they should do that too.
Well, and it's part of the begats and the evolution of it. It's
we're heard.
Well, it's just something like we know, for instance, when the mayor, one of his big platforms is, and has continued since he's been mayor, has been derelict buildings and things. It's the same philosophy.
Right.
If you see derelict, abandoned buildings, that draws and brings nefarious elements because people that want to do things off the radar go to places that aren't on the radar to do these things.
Right.
And littering's the same way. If
litter seems to attract that.
If you've got a neighborhood that's full of trash and things, guess what? Your property values are down. People aren't going to move there.
You're absolutely right.
You're telling people, stay away from my area. That's basically what you're saying.
Right.
And,
it's not a good place to be.
And exactly. And so with minimal effort on us, put it this way. You don't want to get to a point where you got a government of any entity mandating you do this, this, and this.
Right.
We as adults are well-capable thinking people that are very capable of living and managing our lives. And we may not all agree exactly on how that's done, but we certainly don't want someone else telling us exactly how to do that. So guess what? We've got to step up as citizens of this country and be responsible.
Right.
You don't want to be told what to do? Fine. Then know what you're supposed to do and do it.
Right. Right. If you listen, do you know what? It's like, they often laugh. Have you ever seen some of those rules, those placards or rules, and it'll say, no, are these, you get this list that you sign for something, and there's all these rules on it, and you're going, my gosh, are some of those laws?
Yeah.
When you read some of those crazy laws, you think, somebody had to have done this for them to have had to make a rule.
Exactly.
Why would you make a law that you can't do some of these outrageous things unless someone did that outrageous thing?
There was something that made logical sense to somebody at one time when that came out.
It's like, I'm thinking, why would they need that rule? Well, obviously because somebody was doing that.
You always hear the ones with horses, putting horses in different places. Like, somebody did it apparently.
So yes, if we will choose to do things that are right in the way we take care of our environment, our neighborhood, our community, if we do those things voluntarily and we set that role, others follow.
Absolutely.
And it makes a huge impact. It's just like they talk about, how many straws or how many plastic bags, like you say, that they'll do cleanups in areas and they'll come in literally. In fact, I'm just waiting to get the numbers. We did a community cleanup last Saturday, fall cleanup. We had 48 people came out. It was great. McDonald's gave us breakfast burritos. Hispano Chamber helped us. El Toro Bravo. It was great. Excel gave us light bulbs. It was wonderful. As we had all this free stuff we gave away. I'm waiting to hear how much trash we collected because they took it and weighed it at the dump. So I'm waiting to hear back how many pounds it weighed. But we were shocked by some of the things people had thrown away. But when we clean that up, it's like that whole effort will make an impact because that little bit, that it's like when you throw that little bit away, it piles up. When you don't throw it away, it makes a huge impact collaboratively and corporately. Absolutely. And by the time you put it all together.
We're running short on time, but I want to put a quick caveat on that too, is I would ask this of our volunteer groups and things. If you're going out and doing these awesome things, love it, appreciate it. But here's the thing, we need to follow up because especially if you go to an area that's notoriously just a place where people dump trash and you clean it up, you're going to have to keep going back and clean it up because people, until you break the cycle of people just knowing to dump stuff there, they're going to keep doing it. So you're going to have to keep cleaning it up. Unfortunately,
repeated effort will make an impact.
And that's the only way, because one piece of trash is going to, like Kathy was saying earlier, it's back. And they start bringing their garbage over there, and that's not what we want.
Right.
So,
right.
And so make that conscious. All right, we're going to keep it clean
Yes.
and don't let it. And then, like you said, let that mindset
Yes.
set in.
Absolutely.
That's not a place to be doing this kind
Absolutely. For last hit Fall Festival,
Yes.
Candy Visitor Center, their hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 to 4.
of stuff. Okay.
And then Sunday, 11 to 4.
Okay.
And if for some reason you can't drop it off during those hours and you want to donate candy, you can call me.
Okay.
I'm Kathy Lay, and my phone number is 575-500-0395.
Very good. You can call that number now.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this: if you want to bring candy here and earmark it, because I'm taking.
Oh, yeah, that'd be
if
great.
Bring candy by here and you say, give it to the sheriff, give it to Kathy.
That'll be fine.
I'll hand it here and make sure it gets to the right people.
He'll call us.
I will because I'm helping.
He'll only take a small percentage, right? Just a couple of candy bars. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I got
I'm
a
kidding.
2 candy bar finder's fee. That's it. Papa got to eat too. Just kidding.
It's like when the kids come in with their candy bag and the parents go through it. And we just got to check, see if it's safe. Yeah,
That
right.
looks tainted. I better
eat that one for you.
Has anybody ever in the history of that found a tainted piece of candy?
I don't think so.
The only ones you know are like the homemade ones.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah.
even know if that's a rule. I remember back in the day, because someone would make candy apples. And it's a great, wonderful thing, but no parent's going to let your kid eat it because you don't
not
know.
anymore. My
Well, even
gosh.
back 20 years ago, or 30
Yeah,
years ago,
it was
it wasn't like that
years
either.
and years and years ago. If you went to a friend's house, you could do it. But even when I was a kid, it had to be wrapped and sealed, and they checked it.
I got a feeling there was some weird fear of razor blades back in the 70s
Razor
and 80s.
blades, needles.
Yeah, because
all
I
kinds
heard
of
more
crazy
people. There
stuff.
could be razor blades. And I'm
In
like,
that
who's
apple.
these people throwing razor blades and all these things? Who are these people? No one's doing this. They're all just trying to steal our stuff.
It's just our parents wanted to get through.
That's exactly what it was. I know that. I smell it now. I know what's going on.
Now you're the parent on the other side.
Razor blades cost a lot of money. Who's going to be doing that?
Well, go to the Fall Festival. There will be no razor blades.
And all free of charge.
All free of charge.
Thank you, Kathy, as
Thank
always.
you, Mike. It's so good to see you.
Anytime. Love to have you. And we'll see you more often here
I
now.
will
And
be
we'll
here.
get people here and we'll talk things about.
We'll talk about other stuff.
And we got there's more on the horizon.
Very much
yeah.
more, and a lot of programs I didn't even touch on.
Yeah. So
We'll have time.
Yeah. Very
later.
good. Well, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right.